No intro today. Black man in trouble. Apparently Donald Trump absolutely cooked this man. It's insane. Trump invited the president of South Africa to the Oval Office to discuss things, and apparently in middle of this conversation, he pulls the receipts out. This conversation ended less than an hour ago. I don't know what happened, but I am so here for it. For those of the people that actually want the actual lore, there is basically a white genocide going on in South Africa. The people in South Africa do not like the white people there. They are stealing their land, driving them out, and killing them, and murdering them, with the intent of getting rid of all of them. See, genocide is one of those words that doesn't really mean anything anymore, just like Nazi and grifter, because ironically, suspiciously enough, anything's a genocide. Man, I just genocided my cereal this morning. Yeah, it doesn't really mean anything. But what genocide actually means is wiping out and the intent to wipe out an entire people. And honestly, that's kind of what it seems like is going on in South Africa. To the point that Trump got a couple of white refugees from South Africa into America. And here's the irony. The left in America that are pro-refugee, pro-immigration, they are all against the idea that Trump got some extra white people in the country. Interesting. Who are the real racists? All right, well, apparently he exposed the shit out of him, so let's go.
Who's an other...
Spoilers, I don't like this man very much. I don't know him, I never heard him speak, but I already don't like him.
Really, we call him really a great golfer too, Ernie, right? You two guys are fantastic, and we could add Gary to the group, Gary Player.
All
what
right.
A group of golfers South Africa's had.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
It must
he's
be
letting him in
something
easy.
the water, right?
He's
Something
letting
that
him in
these two guys are
easy.
unbelievable.
The water set.
Yeah, Gary's Gary. And David Frost, also another one that I
Yes.
know is such a great one.
Indeed.
Was he as good a putter as they say, David? He's a putter. He's a putting machine, right?
Absolutely.
But he's another one. So something very good about South African golf, and golf is still doing great in South Africa.
He's letting him
They
in
have
so
young players.
easy.
I hear
Look at
coming
him.
up there.
He is preparing to genocide this man on camera. This is insane.
It's going to be very good. But it's an honor to have you here, and my friend, it's an honor to have you, one of the greatest businessmen in South Africa and long beyond. Thank you for being here. It's very, very great honor. Appreciate it. So we're going to be discussing certain things. As you know, we have
All right.
the G20 is going to South Africa. When is that going to be?
In November.
In November.
And thereafter, I hand over to you. And
Yes, we have it next.
you originated the G20, so I'll hand over the baton to you,
right.
and then you.
All right, look at them acting all
We're
cordial.
going to have it the following.
This
year.
isn't gonna go crazy.
So we'll be discussing
They're
many
so
things,
friendly.
and some of the things you've been reading about in the papers and
Yes.
the media. And I would say that, look, the president is...
I love how he's talking to him about golf. He's like, oh, let's talk about golf. Let's talk about golf, guys. Anyway, about the white farmers that you people are killing. Holy shit, he is going to absolutely eat him for lunch. Look at him. This is a man prepared.
a truly respected man in many, many circles, and in some circles he's considered a little controversial. But we're going to be discussing some of the things that are taking place in South Africa and see if we can help. And we want to help. And we've had a long relationship with South Africa. I have, because indirectly I have so many friends that live there. I have a lot of friends. I mean, these are famous guys, but I have a lot of friends that live there that are tremendous people. And we'll be discussing that. We'll have a nice conversation. And I really appreciate that you guys came along. It really helps us in our thought process.
Oh, yeah, we really like you. Thank you so much for being here. He is ready to cook. You see it happen.
It is a great honor to have you, and I appreciate you called. He called. I don't know where he got my number, but I picked up. He said, I want to come over and see you.
It's such a crazy power move, because that's implying that you need me. You came here because you need me.
That was my honor, and thank you.
You were not invited, okay? You asked.
Much for being here.
You're most welcome.
Thank you
most
very
welcome.
much.
Well, thank you very much for welcoming us to this reformed White House. I've been here before. And it looks really fantastic. I must congratulate
nice.
you.
Thank you.
But I also thank you for allowing our delegation. This is a very mixed delegation that you've got. We've got people from government, my ministers. I've got someone from the trade union movement. who we really collaborate with.
Dude, if Elon Musk is in the room, that'll be crazy. Because Elon Musk is also, he's a white South African. There is no one in the fucking government that hates this man as much as Elon Musk. Holy shit.
And from business as well, and our sporting legends. When I spoke to you, you said, yes, come along and bring Gary Player, bring any else, and Retief Goosen. I brought the two of them. Gary Player, I spoke to him, and he said, look, I'm getting rather on in my years, but wishes us luck in this discussion with you.
All right.
So it's a
I'm
real
sure it'll
joy.
go well.
And also
it'll go well.
I'd like to thank you for allowing your people to start discussions with us at the trade level. I mean, we are essentially here to reset the relationship between the United States and South Africa.
All right, that would be wonderful. I like South Africa. I do.
Long-standing partners in many, many ways. We've collaborated in many fields, in space issues, in energy, and in trade.
Dude, that's some weak friendship right there. We collaborated in films. That's how he starts off. You need us, Mr. President.
And we therefore need to reset that, particularly in the light of some of the announcements that you made on trade and investment. So we want to advance more trade between the two of us, two countries, and our people now have been empowered by yourself and by myself to start engaging. And we hope that we will be able to fuel that engagement during our talks. And we also want to discuss issues that have to do with how we promote further investments in both countries. We've got about 22 companies from South Africa that have invested in the US, thus creating a number of jobs. And similarly, you've got almost 600 companies that have invested in South Africa, and some of them have been in South Africa for more than 100 years.
Yeah, wow.
So
long time, long friendship.
Are really
this is so nice.
And we would like to recalibrate those relationships.
Yeah, for some reason they haven't been super friendly recently.
Range of issues, geopolitical, the work that you're doing, to bring peace around the world, in Ukraine, in the Middle East.
There is no way this dude is coming here to talk to Trump about peace around the world. There is no way. That is insanity. What are we even talking? Like, I could bring up like infinite hypocrisies here. Infinite hypocrisies. Jeebus, Phlebus. Bro, the funniest thing is, this guy, he tried to cover up the genocide going on in South Africa. And he's like, Israel genocide, look at me, I'm virtue signaling, I'm so based. Like, dude tries so hard.
We value that, and we are also a great contributor to peace processes that are going on around the world. And of course, we want to discuss how we can support
Elon Musk is going to activate his Mangekyo Sharingan before this is over.
You are a much bigger economy than we are.
Yeah,
We're
true.
Just a tiny
we have all the cards,
economy,
all 7 swing
we
states.
rely on each other on a number of issues.
That's
We've got
nice.
critical minerals that you want.
This is the craziest thing. All of a sudden, literally all of a sudden, every country has critical minerals. Have you noticed? This was not a big deal about a year ago, but now every country has critical minerals to give to the United States. Interesting.
To
Art of the
fuel
deal, art of the
growth
deal.
their own economy and reindustrialize.
Right.
So we have that on offer, including rare earth minerals.
Oh, rare earth minerals.
So
They
all
could
that
give it all to you.
combination of opportunity
So
and
many
the
opportunities.
products that we buy from
Bro thinks he's holding the cards, bro. Bro thinks he's holding the cards.
you, as well as what we sell to you, I believe makes up.
You have no cards. Your card is a dark magician, and I am a blue eyes white dragon. I have more attack. Wow, that sounded racist. I have more attack points. Holy shit, that sounded racist. Wait.
A really good and powerful relationship, which we need to strengthen, which we need to engender, and that is really what has brought us here. And we are really privileged to have, great South Africans.
What kind of privilege?
You said you'd like to see them as well. And I brought you a really fantastic golf book.
I brought you a golf book. Bro, get in line. Qatar gave him a $400 million plane. They got him a golf puck. They're all trying. Every country is trying to buy this man. Holy shit.
Weighs 14 kilograms.
Gosh.
Oh, that sounds good.
And it showcases
wow.
the golf courses in our country.
That's so nice. Wow. A pamphlet he got from a hotel room.
Johann Rupert wrote preface.
This is
So
beautiful.
did Annie else.
That might be the weakest bribe I've ever heard of in my entire life.
And I want to showcase our golf courses. You might remember when I spoke to you, and we
Dude, Trump looks like he's ready to pounce. He's letting him get it all out of his system. He's like, yo, give me all the glaze you can, because in a minute, I am going to rip you and tear. Rip and tear, baby.
spoke about golf, you said I should start practicing. And I've started practicing, President, so I'm ready.
That is crazy glaze. I played golf because of you, Mr. President.
But let me end just the introductory remarks by thanking you. You may not recall that 5 years ago I spoke to you during the COVID period.
Right.
And it was at a time when the whole world was going through a really cathartic moment.
Right.
And we asked for assistance, and you were able to assist us with
Look at that.
Respirators, respirators, and you kept to your word, and you delivered respirators
Yeah,
to us.
he does that.
We didn't have as many.
Speaking of COVID, this news just dropped a couple of hours ago. I felt like it's important to mention. Breaking. The Biden administration officials were aware of potential heart-related complications like myocarditis associated with mRNA COVID-19 vaccines, but delayed public warnings and downplayed the findings. All right, a Senate report alleges. I'm just saying, this just broke today. Breaking news. They knew. Shocker.
In our country, and it really helped to help us deal with COVID. So I'm here also to say thank you and to thank the people of America for having helped us during a really difficult time. Being the small.
Dude, this man came in hot. Mr. President, it's so nice that you're a peacekeeper. We need to talk about peace. We can give you minerals. I'm giving you my book. Thank you for helping me 5 years ago. Holy moly. He keeps going, dude. He is kissing his ass. He hated Trump just, a minute before he was elected. Dude, he is scared. He is shitting himself right now.
Economy that we are, we needed help from around the world. And you were there to provide that. So thank you very much.
I remember the call.
Yeah.
We sent 150 respirators. We became the respirator king. We started making them. Nobody had them. We had very few of them.
That's right.
But they were very helpful. But we sent 150, and I appreciated the letter. You wrote me a letter.
That's right. Yeah.
Thank you. I
Well,
appreciate that very much.
Thank you very much for that. It really touched my heart after I spoke
that's
to
nice.
you, and you delivered. So
Great honor.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any
Very
questions, please?
Mr. President, you welcome white Afrikaner
Oh.
refugees here. Can you explain to Americans why it's appropriate to welcome white Afrikaners here when other refugees like Afghans,
Dude,
Venezuelans,
that's a
Haitians
good
of
question. This is gonna be fun. Oh my god, this is gonna be so much fun. Oh my god, this is gonna be fun. He's asking him, so the Afrikaners are the white South Africans that have, according to some people, been getting genocided in South Africa, where their lands were being stolen and where their families were being killed. And, as we know, Trump is anti-immigration to a large extent, especially illegal immigration. So, yeah, it's a good question. All right.
had their protected.
By the way, the fact that this is the first question means Trump absolutely planted that member of the press. Because Trump didn't say anything yet. He planted that guy.
As revoked.
Well, this is a group, NBC, that is truly fake news. They ask a lot of questions in a very pointed way. They're not questions, they're statements.
Yeah, the point was to make him sound like he's racist or whatever and he hates Muslims or something.
We've had tremendous complaints about Africa, about other countries too, from people. They say there's a lot of bad things going on in Africa, and that's what we're going to be discussing today. When you say we don't take others, all you have to do is take a look at the southern border. We let 21 million people come through our border, totally unchecked, totally unvetted. They came
Biden, he has cancer because of how badly his prostate fucked the country. Biden, what a bad guy. Biden, not like me. All 7 swing states, I'll have you know.
from all over the world. In many cases, they're criminals. They come from prisons. They come from mental institutions.
Pouring over the border, institutions, criminals.
Gangs.
They're bringing crime. They're bringing drugs.
Drug dealers. So don't say that we didn't take them. We take them. We're trying to get them out as fast as we can.
Based.
And we're doing record business on that. And we just won a big case where we're allowed to send back hundreds of criminals to Venezuela. Just won that today in the Supreme Court.
Yeah, dude, he keeps winning. Has anyone noticed how much he's winning? Has anyone noticed? Did anyone realize how much this man keeps winning? Subscribe if you like winning.
I'm happy to hear. But we do have a lot of people are very concerned with regard to South Africa.
NBC News. Trump, can you please say you're racist, please?
And that's really the purpose of the meeting, and we'll see how that turns out. But we have many people that feel they're being persecuted, and they're coming to the United States. So we take from many locations if we feel there's persecution or genocide going on.
This man has such big balls, it's crazy. He has such big balls.
And we had a lot of people. I must tell you, Mr. President, we have had a tremendous number of people, especially since they've seen this. Generally, they're white farmers, and they're fleeing South Africa, and it's a very sad thing to see.
It's pretty sad, isn't it, sir? What are your thoughts, sir? Interesting.
But I hope we can have an explanation of that, because I know you don't want that. It's a kind of a different meeting. Normally we have meetings, we talk about trade, and we'll be talking about trade and other things. But that certainly will be a subject that comes up, yeah. Yes, please. Brian?
Thank you very much. I'd like to get your thoughts on Letitia James. Director Polte, according to him, Letitia James says that the alleged mortgage fraud was simply a mistake.
Dude, why are they even asking him this question? Like, come on.
Thoughts on that? She put down that her father was her husband in the word, and this is very similar.
Like, I get it. It's a good dunk. It's a good freaking dunk on the liberals, on the Democrats, absolutely. But time and place, brother.
To, I guess, the false accounts they had on here.
Well, I don't know what it is currently, but Letitia James, who's the...
For those of you that don't know, Letitia James, or as we call her, Big Tish, because she is fat as frick. Big Tish has a thing for our president, the 45th and 47th president of the United States of America. Between donuts, she keeps going out and blasting this man, trying to get him imprisoned for, like, mortgage fraud and shit. And then it turned out that she is basically found guilty, I think, for mortgage fraud, ironically. Apparently she has on leases that she married her father, and she had claims that she lives in different places to pay shorter taxes from other areas to get less, like, mortgage rates. It is a gigantic drama, and it's very funny. But, you know, the drama's not as gigantic as Big Tish.
Attorney General of New York State, it seemed, I'm not involved in that at all. I know that it's being handled by various groups, I guess, but it's major fraud, mortgage documents, and fraudulent everything. I think she said the father was
fraudulent everything,
which she had to have a husband, or so she chose her father, and she put it down. And she had didn't she sign in Virginia? Yet she said she lived in Virginia. Yet she's the New York State Attorney General. She did that for tax reasons, so she could take advantage of taxes. And she had the wrong number of units. She had a much different number, which wouldn't have allowed her to qualify.
Oh, right. That was another thing that she did. Apparently, she had a 4-family house, and or rather a 5-family house, but she marked it down as a 4-family house in order to pay less taxes on it, because apparently the cutoff is 4 to families as opposed to 5 families. So she lied about how many people were actually in her house. Basically, she went after Trump for every little thing that Trump's ever done, and she has like this laundry list of fraudulent situations, allegedly.
Qualify and scam the government. So I don't know. I think she's very bad for New York, but I really don't know too much about it, but I appreciate the question. Yes, thank you very much.
I appreciate the question, because you made that fat-ass bitch look like a little bit of a loser. I thank you for the question, because this bitch, she sounds like more of a bitch now. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
You've contributed to how much of a bitch she sounds in the public eye. Very cool.
For you to be convinced that there's no genocide.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Oh my God, these reporters.
May 25th will be the celebration of Africa Day, which
Africa Day? That's a day now?
around the world, including here in the United States. What is your message to the entire African continent, African people in this important occasion?
Well, I want to see peace, and I want to see happiness. I want to see health, and you have incredible land. There's tremendous value. A lot of countries don't have that value in the land. The value you have. We have a situation. I think you probably heard about it. We've done through some very talented people helped settle a war that's been raging for years. Rwanda and the Congo.
Yep.
And I think we've done it.
Wow.
Believe it or not, I think we've done it. And
Did it? By the way, I'm sure no one in my chat even knew that there was a war going on right there. I mean, if you were watching the largest leftist political streamer, Hamas Diddler Piker, he never talks about it. That's not really relevant because, you see, he doesn't talk about wars when the violent party are terrorists. He only talks about war when you're fighting back against terrorists. That's why he's on the side of Hamas and Pakistan and every other terrorist regime.
could you just say a few words about that, my friend?
Yes. A couple of weeks ago, they signed, the two parties signed a declaration of principle in which they agreed on the way forward. And they have both submitted draft peace agreements, and we have put together one that incorporates both of their suggestions, and we've given it to them. So we're in the process of finalizing
Looking
this.
good, right?
Looking very good.
No, we have to thank you for even those efforts because the
Right.
African continent, particularly SADC, our Southern African Development Community, has for years been seeking to foster peace in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So all efforts, including those from outside the continent and inside the continent, are really worthwhile. We are removing our troops from there so that peace can then prevail in that whole area.
Bro, this dude's still glazing?
And
So why didn't you do anything about it, brother? This has been going on for years. You waited for Orange Man to show up?
hope that with the support of the international community,
with this,
we will really have peace in that area. It's so vital.
It's
so
vital.
important
He's right.
for
He's so right.
the whole region.
Well, we sent our people there, and I think we did a very good job, as headed by my friend, and that was great. That was great. I mean, I'm just hearing phenomenal reports because all I'm hearing is death, and they're chopping heads off, and it's horrible over there.
Yeah, it is. And most of you probably didn't even know that was going down because everyone's too busy virtue signaling about other wars. It's kind of crazy how the world is, but don't worry, because I'm currently working on the script and layout for Hassan Piker's 500% fucked, and this will come up.
And it was really brave of you to go there, and I really appreciate it. And it looks like we have something very, very substantial. We also talked about trade with them in terms of rare earth and all, but really more for it's like if you take a look at what we just did with Pakistan and India, we settled that whole thing, and I think I settled it through trade.
I covered
doing
that.
A big deal with,
that was crazy.
India, we're doing a big deal with Pakistan, and I said, what are you guys doing? You know, somebody had to be the last one to shoot, but the shooting was getting worse and worse, bigger and bigger, deeper and deeper into the countries, and we spoke to them, and I think I hate to say we got it settled, and then 2 days later, something happens, and they say it's Trump's fault, but Pakistan has got some excellent people and some really great leader. And India is my friend, Modi. And he's a
mutual friend.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
All right.
And I called them both, and we just...
for those of you that need the TLDR on the Pakistan situation, Pakistan committed many terrorist attacks in India for a while. India got fed up, they bombed them back. Pakistan lost, and they declared victory. And now half of Pakistan is breaking away from the other half of Pakistan, declaring themselves as their own sovereign nation, and Pakistan's fucked. Of course, Hassan supported Pakistan because, terrorist attacks are Hassan's favorite thing.
Is something good. We're trying to settle Russia, Ukraine, spoke with President Putin for 2.5 hours the day before yesterday. I think we made a lot of progress, but that's a bloodbath.
Well,
5,000 people are being killed a week. 5,000 soldiers a week, not including people in cities and towns that are also being killed. So we're trying to help. And it doesn't affect us. It's not our people. It's not our soldiers. It's Ukraine and it's Russia. But if we can save 5,000 souls, we'll do it. You know, we're pretty good at it.
Yeah.
But that's a bad situation. That is a really bad situation.
Well, you'd recall when President Zelensky was coming to South Africa, that's when I spoke to you.
That's right.
We both agreed that we need to push the peace message.
This is the most unbelievable glazing I've ever seen. Dude's just sitting there. I decided also pushing peace message would be helpful. Wow! Look at this guy. What a guy. What a dude. Look at him.
So that there can really be peace. And we've been involved in the Ukraine-Russia conflict for quite
Yeah, how are you involved, bro?
a while. Through my Minister of State Security here, we've been dealing with them, the exchange of children who were taken away, going through names and addresses and all that. So we've been invested in that whole process as well. And the moves that you're making are fully supported by us because we would like to see the end of that war.
It's true. I called Zelensky, and they said, he's in South Africa. I said, what the hell is he doing in South Africa? He's talking to us. We got this man. I said, what are you doing in South Africa?
Yes.
Bro, I did a quick grok, or I just out of curiosity, I did a quick grok. How did South Africa help during the Russia-Ukraine war? I spelled it like a retard. Apparently, they had a neutral stance on the war, emphasizing non-alignment. Oh, they advocated for peace, though. That's very helpful. Neutral stance. Allegations of arms support to Russia. Ew. Military and diplomatic ties with Russia. Economic and International Criminal Court. All right. South Africa faced scrutiny over its invitation to Putin to the BRICS summit. Interesting. Wow. Look at that. Interesting. Yeah, definitely fighting for peace, these guys. Yeah.
That's a strange one.
He's trying to make peace. we taking him. You know, we were lucky because we had the great Nelson Mandela, who taught us how to create peace, to make peace. So we were imparting some of those lessons to him, some of those learnings, and I specifically mentioned to him that this is how Nelson Mandela taught us that when you want to have peace in a country, do it on an unconditional basis and sit down and talk. And that's precisely what I'm sure he's going to heed.
Well, we're going to see what happens with that one. It's there's a lot of hatred. There's a lot of death. It's a bloodbath.
It is. Unfortunately.
I get the satellite pictures of that field, of that killing field. You never saw anything like it in your life. It's horrible. It's a horrible thing that goes on, but I think we've made big progress.
Yeah, I feel like this guy is kind of the opposite of Mandela, like in every way. But anyway.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President.
No, not you. Right here. He's from South Africa. Go ahead, please.
What are you expecting on the ICJ case? Are you expecting South Africa to drop that? Is that what you're trying to do?
On which case?
The ICJ
the International Criminal Justice.
I don't expect anything, to be honest. I really don't. I don't know. It's they've got a case. There's a lot of anger there, tremendous anger. I don't expect anything. We'll see what happens. We'll have a ruling, and who knows what the ruling is going to mean. Yeah.
On that subject of Gaza, Mr. President, are you going to be speaking to Prime Minister Netanyahu about Israel's renewed offensive there? There's been a lot of concern from European countries. The Pope has expressed concern.
Wow, that's insane. They're asking him that in front of the South African president? Okay.
Are you going to be asking Prime Minister Netanyahu to tone down the offensive in Gaza to let more aid in?
Was that a question or a statement?
It's a question.
This guy's, you never change.
Mr. President, decide what would it take for
You just ignored him. He's like, you asked the question in a shitty way. We're moving on to the next person now. Incredibly based. This is not the time.
you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. It's coming. Please. Cook this
well,
fraud.
I can answer that for the president. It's for him. No, seriously.
I'd rather have him answer.
Yeah, I'd rather answer that.
Wow. Big question. Big question. How are we going to convince you that there's no white genocide? The fucking irony of these people is they call everyone else genocidal. The South African government calls everyone else on the planet genocidal, but they don't recognize crimes in their own country. It's insane.
Our president will respond to you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mr. President.
It will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends, like those who are here.
Like Elon Musk? Like Elon Musk, bro? No, you don't, not that South African. He's white.
When we have talks between us on the quiet table, it will take President Trump to listen to them. I'm not going to.
Bro, what the fuck? Be quiet. A black man is talking. Is that what's happening right here? Is that what's going on right now? There's no fucking way this is the argument that he's going to be making to protect himself from the genocide allegations. If Mr. President just listens to my fine voice.
Repeating what I've been saying, I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these three gentlemen would not be here, including my Minister of Agriculture. He would.
If there was a genocide, these people wouldn't be here. What the fuck are these, like, talking points? Like, those are horrible talking points. Bro.
Not be with me. So it'll take him, President Trump, listening to their stories, to their perspective. That is the answer to your question.
But that smug smile.
Mr. President, I must.
Can he answer?
We have wait.
We
have thousands of stories talking about it, and we have documentaries. We have news stories. And that is Natalie here? Somebody here to turn that? I could show you a couple of things, and I would. I have to. It has to be responded to.
Yeah, sure.
Let me see the articles, please.
Oh my God, he's breaking out the receipts. He's bringing out the receipts. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's happening. Oh, here we go, boys. Oh, that's the face of fear. That's the face of fear. Oh, liars are weak when it comes to receipts. Receipts make liars very uncomfortable. It's a known fact. Oh my God. This is insane.
But you would, and turn the lights down.
He's making a fucking movie night. He's making a movie night out of this.
Turn the lights down and just put this on. It's right behind you.
Oh God.
Johan.
There's nothing this parliament can do. With or without you, people are going to occupy land. We require no permission.
They brought a television into the Oval Office for this. Content president. This is cinema. This is cinema. See, like, the funny thing is, like, all right, dude, I'm excited.
From you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy land. South Africa, occupy land. That's who we are. Can we drop our membership from this useless parliament?
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's a big deal. That's implying they want to get rid of all the white people that own land. That's genocidal. It is. That is genocidal. A lot of people don't know what the word genocide means. Like, they say, oh my God, there's a transgender genocide in America. No, there isn't, all right? Just don't want biological men in women's bathrooms, all right? That's a very different thing, brother, all right? At South Africa, they'll say, yes, it's true that, Israel is providing food to people in Gaza, but it's still a genocide. All right, interesting.
Yes, honorable member. Must never be scared to kill. A revolution demands that at some point there must be killing, because
at some point there must be killing?
The killing is part of a revolutionary act. Shoot to kill the mother, kill the poor, the farmer, kill the poor, the farmer.
Oh, fuck. Oh my God, dude, this is crazy.
The man of DA is a white man. So these people, when you want to hit them hard, go after a white man. They feel a terrible pain.
Did he just say he wants all white men to feel a terrible pain? And then did the iDubbbz Fortnite dance? They're chanting kill the boar, which is kill the white man. Oh my fucking... Nelson Mandela would not have approved. Nelson Mandela, all right, was against killing civilians. This is crazy.
Not because Mashama and Soli will not be touched. They will be touched, no one. But we are starting with this whiteness. We are cutting the throat of whiteness. Shoot, kill, Yamasa, kill the poor, the farmer.
Kill the boars, kill the white farmer. Oh my god.
Kill the poor, the farmer.
Yeah, that sounds like genocidal. That sounds genocidal. Just like Hamas, who all said, let's kill all Jews. But they support Hamas. This is crazy. It is insane. It's crazy to see how the divide of good and evil in the world every once in a while just becomes a little too obvious. I don't know what the writers were thinking. That's crazy. Dude. Bro, the fucking president of South Africa has to be suicidal right now. Trump was ready. He had the receipts. Dude thought they were gonna talk about golf and minerals and he whipped this shit out.
In the future, I'm saying to you, was not called for the killing of white people, at least for now. I can't guarantee the future.
Yeah, but I mean, you'd understand somebody watching that, especially as it gets shared on Twitter. They freak out. It sounds like a genocide.
Yeah, it sounds like a genocide, bro. They're babies, he says. Ah, interesting. Bro. Holy shit. Dude, this sounds like the Houthi musicals that Hassan showed. What?
Who will expropriate land without compensation, whether they like it or not. If they object, they can seek refugee in America.
If they reject to leave their land, they could become a refugee in America. Oh my fucking god. Dude, and Trump broadcasted this on every news station. Dude, the media can't hide this. They cannot hide this, bro.
Now this is very bad.
Oh, he killed him. He fucking killed them.
Man, these are burial sites right here. Burial sites. Over 1,000 of white farmers, and those cars are lined up to pay love on a Sunday morning. Each one of those white things you see is a cross.
Oh my god. Dude cannot sit still. He's been shifting.
There's approximately 1,000 of them. They're all white farmers. The family
cannot look at his eyes. Look how wide his eyes are.
Family of white farmers.
Get his ass, Orange Man.
And those cars aren't driving. They're stopped there to pay respects to their family member who's killed. And it's a terrible sight. I've never seen anything like it.
Holy shit.
Both sides of the road you have crossed.
You know what? I'll be honest here right now, just for a second. I'll be honest. I think that I don't remember the last time there was a president of the United States that had moral clarity like this, that just basically had no issue talking to people and saying what he thought. Of course, there's no ICC warrant for this guy's arrest, obviously. This is insane. He's just letting it play. Listen to the silence. You can hear a pin drop.
Those people were all killed.
they told you where that is, Mr. President?
Oh, get ready for the rebuttal.
No, I'd like to know where that is, because
I'd like to know where that is? There's no way you don't know where that is. Oh my, you goddamn swindling little bitch.
this I've never seen.
I've never seen this. A highway with crosses in my country? I've never heard of it.
Okay. I mean, it's in South Africa. That's
It's in South Africa, motherfucker. Good defense, bro. I never heard of this defense.
We need to find out.
We need to find out. What are you gonna find out? You're gonna bring them back to life, bro? Jamie, pull that up. He's not even he can't even look at the screen. He cannot even look at the screen. Oh God.
those people.
I've heard of sitting on the edge of your seat before, but I don't know what the hell he's doing.
Okay.
Mr. President, the Pentagon announced that it would be accepting a Qatari jet to be used as Air Force One.
What are you talking about?
Qatari jet! They tried to change that topic! Are you insane? Qatar jet? These people are complete losers. Bro, really? Oh my God.
What are you talking about? You know,
like, dude, Trump is dropping a fucking nuke on this man's head, all right? The N-word. Nuclear is the N-word. Hard R, nuclear. All right, he's dropping a nuke on this man, and the media's just out here trying to change the topic. Get the fuck out of here.
You to get out of here. What does this have to do with the Qatari jet? They're giving the United States Air Force a jet, okay? And it's a great thing. We're talking about a lot of other things. It's NBC trying to get off the subject of what you just saw.
True, he's right.
You are a real, you're a terrible reporter. Number one, you don't have what it takes to be a reporter. You're not smart enough. But for you to go into a subject about a jet that was given to the United States Air Force, which is a very nice thing.
Dude, Elon's staring daggers at this man. Death stare.
They also gave $5.1 trillion worth of investment in addition to the jet. Go back, you ought to go back to your studio at NBC because Brian Roberts and the people that run that place, they ought to be investigated. They are so terrible the way you run that network, and you're a disgrace. No more questions from you. Go ahead. Go ahead, talk about that. His name is Peter something. He's a terrible reporter. Quiet. Let's go.
Bro, he's so right. Yeah, get the fuck out. I don't know, man. I'll be real. This person should not be allowed back in the room. It's humiliating. Freedom of speech doesn't mean I have to suffer by listening to you screeching.
President Trump and a disaster from EMCA in South Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Steve.
What would you like President Ramaphosa to do about the situation that we've just seen on the screen?
I don't know. Look, these are articles over the last few days.
Oh my God, the amount of receipts this man had.
Death of people. Death. Horrible death.
Oh shit.
Death. I don't know. To pick anyone, white South Africans are fleeing because of the violence and racist laws. And this is all, I mean, I'll give these to you.
No,
so when you say, what would I like to do? I don't know what to do. Look at this. White South African couple say that they were attacked violently. And,
President Trump, when will you go and see for yourself if it isn't?
well, I could do.
Oh, really? Just some random person yell at him, Trump, go see for yourself.
Do that. Look, here's burial sites all over the place. These are all white farmers that are being buried. And he asks about a jet that was given. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You know, you are so bad. You're such a bad reporter.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude, are you really gonna play the? I didn't know any of this was going on. Please give me those articles so I can read them. I've never heard of this before. I never heard of this. You remember a minute ago how I said there's no genocide? All Trump needs to do is listen. All Trump needs to do is listen to me and everything will become clear. Remember when he said that a minute ago?
This is one after another. This family was wiped out. I'm just looking.
Can we get a report from President Ramaphosa, please?
They're still screaming.
President Trump.
Well, I think the videos are so. No. When you look at the videos, I mean, how does it get worse? And these are people that are officials, and they're saying that kill the white farmer and take their land. That's what it is.
Yep.
And I have other friends in South Africa. I have people that left. One in particular that says you can't go there. He said they want to take your land. They take your land and they kill you. It's okay, and they say it's okay to do. Now we're going to talk about it. But this is a tremendous look. This is a story recent. These are all people that recently got killed.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it can get any worse. These are.
Ooh. Holy shit, he murdered him. He murdered him on fucking television. He murdered him.
And you know, the men that you saw, the people that you saw in that movie, those are officials. Those are people that were in office. They had one march, they had a dance in your parliament, whatever you may call it, legislature.
Well, let me clarify that.
Yeah.
Let me clarify that, because what you saw.
All right, he's going to clarify that. This is crazy.
The speeches that were being made. One, that is not government policy.
What the actual fuck is happening? It's not government policy. We're just kind of okay with the fact that that people are committing modern day genocide because it's not the policy.
We have a multi-party democracy in South Africa that allows people to express themselves.
Dude, this is fucking retarded. I hate the democracy. Okay, so let's say democracy voted slavery back in. Would that be a good thing? Right? Let's say democracy voted murdering an entire race of people. Would that make it cool? Would that make it based?
Political parties to adhere to various policies, and in many cases, or in some cases, those policies do not go along with government policy. Our government policy is completely against what he was saying.
But what are you talking about? They're murdering thousands of people. And they're cheering about taking their land and shit. You just said that this isn't going on. Then he showed you a picture of the road and he's like, where's that road? Right, where's that road?
Even in the parliament. And they're a small minority party, which is...
This is crazy.
It's allowed to exist in terms of our constitution.
But you do...
Oh, it's freedom of speech. This is the classic argument every time. Oh, it's freedom of speech that they're murdering white people in South Africa. That's just free speech.
Allow them to take land.
No.
You do allow them to take land.
Nobody can take land.
And then when they take the land, they kill the white farmer. And when they kill the white farmer, nothing happens to them.
No. There is
nothing happens to them.
There is criminality in our country. People who do get killed, unfortunately, through criminal activity, are not only white people.
You've got to be fucking kidding me, this man. Like, this is crazy. This is insane.
The majority of them are black people.
But that's because the majority of people are black people. What the hell argument is this? White people are only like 10% of the population or something.
And we have now been utilized.
The farmers are not black. I don't say that's good or bad, but the farmers are not black. And the people that are being killed in large numbers, and you saw all those grave sites, and those are people that loved ones going, I guess...
7%, not 10%. Fact check. White people are only 7% of the population.
Sunday morning, they told me to pay respect to their loved ones that were killed. Their heads chopped off. They died violently. And, you know, I mean, we're here to talk about it, and I didn't know we'd get involved here. But I will say this, that if the news wasn't fake, like NBC, which is fake news, totally, one of the worst, ABC, NBC, CBS, horrible. But if they weren't fake news like this jerk that we have here, we had real reporters, they'd become...
Dude has mastered the double roast. He can roast two people at the same time so well. It's like you're doing a genocide and that retard isn't reporting it. That's crazy.
But the fake news in this country doesn't talk about that.
It's true.
They don't want to talk
about the news. Dude, speaking of fake news, you know what fake news has been talking about? Only. I don't know why. I don't know how everyone's only talking about Israel. I feel like there's nothing else. There's nothing else that anyone talks about whenever anything goes on. And it's wild. And I don't know why. But no Jews, no news? Like, what is happening? In fact, there was a pretty crazy hoax that just happened the other day. Let me see if I can find it. Because these people are like gigantic scams. So, ABC News. Let me see if I can find this. ABC News, the one that he's calling out. ABC News announced that 14,000 children are going to be dying in Gaza in the next 24 hours. And everyone freaked the fuck out. Because holy shit, that's horrible. That's like an actual disaster. That's a fucking nightmare. And they deleted their tweets. And it's just not true. They all deleted their tweets. Like, BBC said this. ABC said this. They all just deleted their tweets right after that. Like, I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, bro.
About it, but now they have to talk about it, but they won't. This won't even be a subject. They'll have him talking about why did a country give a free, think of this, why did a country give an airplane to the United States Air Force? Okay? The United States, not to me, to the United States Air Force, so they could help us out, because we need an Air Force One until that's Air Force One, it's being built. 2 of them being built. But Boeing's a little bit late, unfortunately. So why did they give us a plane to the United States Air Force? That's what that idiot talks about after viewing a thing where thousands of people are dead.
I'm sorry, I don't have a plane to give you.
I wish you did. I take it. I would take it. If your country offered the United States Air Force a plane, I would take it.
Okay.
You gave me a book about golf, brother. You gave me a book about golf. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
But coming back to this issue, which I really would like us to talk about, and talk about it.
I found it, in case you were curious. In case you were curious, I found it. This was NBC News posting this the other day, saying around 14,000 babies could die in the next 48 hours if many more aid trucks do not reach Gaza, the UN humanitarian chief says. The reason why I'm showing you a screenshot and not the actual tweet is because they deleted the tweet, because it was a lie. It was literally a lie. And this image is not from Gaza. This image is from Yemen. They used a random starving kid from a different country that is starving because of Houthi terrorists, by the way, partially. A different kid that's starving on an image, making a complete lie. They deleted the tweet, you know, the next day. Like, that's NBC News, ladies and gentlemen. That's NBC News.
Very calmly. We were taught by Nelson Mandela that whenever...
Dude, stop with the Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was vehemently against murdering... Holy fuck, someone botted my stream. It says I have 800,000 live viewers. Someone botted my stream. Holy shit. It wasn't me, obviously. Fuck. But anyway, Nelson Mandela was against the murder of civilians. Civilians did die in his attacks, but he was against the murder of civilians vehemently. That said, there's some crazy shit going. Nelson Mandela would slap the fuck out of this guy.
There are problems. People need to sit down around a table and talk about them.
Well, there are problems.
And this is precisely what we would also like to talk about, including, of course, trade matters, investment.
Oh, trade matters. Yeah, we'll start with that. Yeah.
Issues that concern you as the United States.
Those are all recent. Those are all deaths.
Yeah, in many ways. I mean, one.
He handed him the fucking papers. He handed him the papers. Oh my god! He gave him the stack. You want to talk about trade deals?
I should say you are a partner of South Africa, and you are raising concerns, and these are concerns that we are willing to talk to you about. Let me just add quickly, you know, the criminality that we are experiencing in our country needs quite a lot of technological capability. And in one of our areas in South Africa, we're using US technology, which is able to, in many ways, identify where shootings are happening and all that. And I'd like to talk about that because there is support that we can get from you and the United States to help us deal with all these acts of criminality. And that is what I believe partly.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you're here about helping criminality. Remember how a minute ago there were no crimes and it was a wonderful peace place? Remember how it was a wonderful place of peace and love a minute ago?
It's all about. And we are here.
Dude does not want to talk about this shit on television.
As a partner, so that we can help each other whenever there are challenges.
Right.
So I'd like us to discuss it, and of course, outside of the media. So
of course!
Sit down and have
Of course, outside of the media. I'm so happy he humiliated him in the fucking media. I'm so happy he humiliated him on the media. God damn it. God damn. Not the United States' business. It's crazy, bro. Jonesy, thanks for the 10 subs. Yeah, wild.
Good discussion that will lead to good outcomes.
Are there any other further punitive measures that could be in place should you not be satisfied that South Africa is fixing some of the very bad things, in inverted commas, that you tweeted are happening?
Well, there are a lot of bad things happening in many countries, but this in particular has been very, very bad, and because of we're going to have the whole world watching in another short period of time because you have the G20, and that's a big deal. And it seems like, I want you to look good. I don't want you to look bad.
Very good.
But we have hundreds of people, thousands of people trying to come into our country.
All right, Trump was capping there. He did not want him to look good. He wanted to humiliate him, and he did.
Because they feel they're going to be killed, and their land is going to be confiscated. And you do have laws that were passed that gives you the right to confiscate land for no payment. You can take away land for no payment.
I want to clarify that because we have a constitution.
Oh my God. I love how he's going to go on a tangent, but he can't say it didn't happen.
The Constitution guarantees and protects the sanctity of tenure of land ownership. And that constitution protects all South Africans with regard to land ownership. However, we do say, because we've got to deal with the past, the government, and as your government also has the right to expropriate land for public use.
And you're doing that.
And we've never really gotten underway with that. And we are going to be doing so.
You're taking people's land away
we have not.
from them.
We have,
and those people, in many cases, are being executed. They're being executed. And they happen to be white, and most of them happen to be farmers. Mm-hmm. And that's a tough situation. I don't know how you explain that. How do you explain that? They're taking people's land away.
Pretty
and
weird.
In many cases, those people are being executed, and in many cases, it's not the government that's doing it. It's people that kill them and then take their land, and nothing happens to them. But we have thousands of people that want to come into our country. They're also going to Australia in a smaller number. But we have thousands of people that want to come into our country, and they're white farmers, and they feel that they're going to die in South Africa. And it's a bad thing. Yeah,
he immediately went back to the press. He didn't want to hear another fucking lie out of this man's mouth. God damn. Holy. Someone just told me in my chat that Hassan is reacting to the same thing at the same time, and he's on the side of... He's against the white people in South Africa. You've got to be fucking kidding me, right? Whatever. I'll look at that later.
What can South Africa do? What concessions would you like to see them make to improve relations with the United States? Then I have one more for President Ramaphosa afterwards.
Well, we just spoke about it. I got them a very, very complex machine, 150 of them. I was asked by the president if he could help, and I did that. And, I have great feeling for all countries. I deal with all countries.
Yeah.
But I have a great feeling for South Africa because I have friends. I have a couple of friends, a few friends here today. I have many friends from South Africa, but many of those friends are not, they can't go back. I have Elon is from South Africa. I don't want to get Elon involved.
Elon would murder this man.
That's all I have to do, get him into another thing. But Elon happens to be from South Africa. This is what Elon wanted. He actually came here on a different subject. sending rockets to Mars, okay? Yes. He likes that better. He likes that subject better. That's right. But Elon is from South Africa, and I don't want to talk to him about that. I don't think it's fair to him.
That's right.
But I will say that people are fleeing South Africa for their own safety. Their land is being confiscated, and in many cases they're being killed. And that scene of, you see how many crosses they have. Those crosses, that's a dead person in every one of them.
Fuck, dude.
And those trucks or cars are paying their respects to all of those dead people on a Sunday morning. That's a rough.
You never heard of that street, though.
Rough thing to explain away.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
And the problem we have, and the way, you know, a correct and a fair media exposes things, but we have a very corrupt media. They won't even report this. If this were the other way around, it would be the biggest story. Now, I will say, apartheid, terrible. That was the biggest story. That was reported all the time. This is sort of the opposite of apartheid. What's happening now is never reported. Nobody knows about it. All we know is we're being inundated with people, with white farmers from South Africa, and it's a big problem. Marco Rubio was telling me he's never seen anything like it. The numbers of people that want to leave South Africa because they feel they're going to be dead very soon. Yes, please.
He looks like he's ready to punch Trump. Like, this is crazy. I have never seen a bloodbath like this, dude. I know everyone said that the Zelensky thing was crazy when they were like yelling at Zelensky in the Oval Office. This is an actual fucking murder. He killed him. He genocided this man. He genocided this whole ass man. Holy fuck.
Brian, go.
If I could just ask you a question. 72% of farmers in your country are white. If they flee, do you feel that maybe the economy could collapse? You may not have a gap to fill in those people that need to replace those farmers.
You know, I'd like my Minister of Agriculture, who is white.
Bro, no way he got a DEI Minister of Agriculture.
Who comes from an opposition party to mine.
I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty racist, bro. It's pretty racist. It's pretty fucking racist, bro. I'm gonna let a white man talk to you so the white man can explain to you.
Who's joined my government at my invitation to address some these very issues.
Oh, you brought him to address issues from white people. Interesting.
Including the question that you just raised. John?
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Mr. President, thank you for welcoming us to the White House. I would say we have a rural safety problem in South Africa. I don't think anyone wants to candy coat that. And it requires a lot of effort to get on top of it. It's going to require more policing resources. It's going to require different strategy to be able to deal with it. But certainly the majority of South Africa's commercial and smallholder farmers really do want to stay in South Africa and make it work. And I've just come from the largest agricultural show in the Southern Hemisphere with organized agriculture and farmers, and the majority of them want to stay. But they too, they have a memorial to those who've died as a result of farm attacks. And as the Minister of Agriculture, it is something that I'm particularly exercised with my colleagues at police and my colleagues in the justice cluster to start making farm attacks and stock theft a priority crime. And it affects all farmers in South Africa, particularly stock theft. It has a disproportionate effect on smallholder black farmers. I also want to just say this, that the two individuals that are in that video that you've seen are both leaders of opposition minority parties in South Africa.
Dude, the fact that you have a political party that is directly going up there advocating for the genocide of white people and it's fucking happening and it's not considered a priority crime is fucking retarded. Like, are we on the same page? Like, I love how a minute ago this wasn't real and it wasn't happening, and right now, well, it's real, but you know, it's not official. Like, we don't condone it, okay, guys? We don't condone it. This is insane.
Under Mr. Zuma and the economic freedom fighters under Mr. Malema. Now, the reason that my party, the Democratic Alliance, which has been an opposition party for over 30 years, chose to join hands with Mr. Ramaphosa's party was precisely to keep those people out of power. We cannot have
Hitler be like, yo, I have a Jew in the cabinet that has something he wants to say. That was a joke. That was a joke!
Those people sitting in the union buildings making decisions. And that is why after 30 years of us exchanging barbs across the floor in Parliament and trying to get one over on each other, we've decided to join hands precisely to keep that lot out of government, because the day they get in to the doors of the union buildings in South Africa or control of our parliament, that's what you're going to see. And that is why this government, working together, needs the support of our allies around the world so that we can strengthen our hand, grow our economy, and shut the door forever on that rabble.
Yeah, that would be lovely.
The doors of the union buildings,
yeah.
because then South Africa's future would be.
So you denounced that type of language in the video that you saw?
Oh yes, we've always done so. As
oh really?
As my own party.
Remember how this guy said it wasn't happening, and now he's claiming that he's always denounced it?
We are completely opposed to that. We, in 1950...
We are opposed to white genocide. We're not doing much about it, but we are vehemently against the whole idea.
If I've adopted a document which said South Africa belongs to all who live in it.
But why wouldn't you arrest that man? That man...
Oh my God.
Man said, kill the white farmers, kill the white farmers. And then he danced, and he's dancing, and it's kill the white farmers. I think, I'm not sure, but I think if somebody got up in Parliament and started saying kill a certain group of people, he would be arrested very quickly. That man is going all over South Africa, and that's not a small party. That was a stadium that holds 100,000 people, and I hardly saw.
It's a small minority party. They don't have anything like that.
An empty seat.
Also, I'm pretty sure that people in my chat have been telling me that the courts ruled that saying kill the Boer, kill the white farmer is protected speech. So I'm just saying.
That's a lot of people. That's a lot of representation. And those crosses, we have dead white people, dead white farmers, mostly. And you take a look at Australia, they're being inundated, and we're being inundated with people that want to get out. And their farm is valueless. It's valueless, and they just want to get out with their life. And this is a very serious situation. And if we had a real news or real press or media, we don't have that because they won't talk about it.
Nope.
No.
No.
Idiot. But if we had a real press, it would be exposed. And you know, the beauty of exposing it is it's like a cleansing action. When it gets exposed, it'll get fixed. That's when it'll get fixed.
Wow. Look at this dude. He just exposed it. Everyone knows about it now. Everyone's talking about it now. Everyone watched this fucking worm squirm.
But people don't talk about it. And I'll tell you who's talking about the thousands of people that are fleeing South Africa right now.
We discussed USAID and the devastating impact the cuts are having across the African continent.
Yeah, well, it's devastating, and hopefully a lot of people are going to start spending a lot of money. And I've talked to other nations. We want them to chip in and spend money too. And we've spent a lot, and it's a tremendous problem going on in many countries. A lot of problems going on.
Lots of problems.
The United States always gets the request for money. Nobody else helps, as you know. Europe doesn't help. Europe hasn't given anything. All they do is sue our companies. You know, they sue Apple, and they sue all of our companies. Apple had to pay $17 billion on a nonsense lawsuit. Very unfair. But we're going to always be there to help.
Dude's out there for his companies. Damn, this is maybe the sweatiest interview I've ever seen. Look at this dude. He looks like a deer in headlights. Look at this guy.
The Afrikaner exchange rights by South African broadcasting. If this Afrikaner resettlement issue is resolved, you're going to go into a room after this, you guys are going to talk. If it is resolved, what is the potential for the future-looking relationships between the United States?
It's got to be resolved. It should be resolved. It's a little bit bad when you see a stadium with 100,000 people in it, because that means it's more than just a little movement. It's a pretty big movement in South Africa, so it has to be resolved. It'll be the end of the country if it's not.
But is there potential for the relationship moving forward?
I hope so. That's why I'm here.
Damn.
I mean, I'm not here for my health. I'm here to see what it is. No, I'd like to see. I have friends. I can tell you, Ernie Els and Retief Goosen, they feel so strongly they wanted to be here on behalf of South Africa, not on behalf of me. And
yes,
said,
of course. Everything is going swimmingly for me. I look good in this interview.
Ernie, do you guys want to say a couple of words?
Oh my God!
I hate to put you in this. This is tougher than sinking a 3-footer. They've sent a 3-footer. And they've sank many 3-footers.
They're bringing a random white South African golfer into this? That's crazy.
Thank you, Mr. President. And thanks for the honor of being here. We've known each other a long time. We have spoken. You know, we're proud South Africans. I still have my South African passport. You know, we travel with this passport, you know, and I got my visa here. So, you know, but we want to see things get better in our home country. That's the bottom line.
Dude is terrified. If he ever, I don't know, man. Would this man be safe going back to South Africa at this point? Holy shit.
It's been 35 years since the transition.
Bro, I don't know who's making more expressions. This guy or this guy. The same exact expression. They are just unhappy together.
President Ramaphosa was right in the middle of the transition time in 1990 and before that. So it's been 35 years of ANC government. And I know there's a lot of anger, you know, through the transition. There was also a lot of stuff happening in the apartheid days. You know, we grew up in the apartheid era. But I don't think two wrongs makes a right. You know, President Mandela, when he came out of prison for all that time, didn't come out with hatred, you know, and really unified our nation through sport. You know, we won the Rugby World Cup in '95.
4 times.
We won the African Nations Cup, soccer. You know, we won some majors as golfers and so forth.
All right, lovely. That's nice.
So what I'm trying to say is, you know, this has been a long time coming. That's why we really wanted to meet you, meet the administration, and see our way forward, because we still want to see our country flourish. You know, we've got some great things going on. Business is getting involved with government. Farmers are getting involved in local municipalities, trying to rebuild some of the infrastructure that's been decaying for a long time. So there's a lot of coexistence going on and help from a lot of areas. But we need...
Yeah, and there's that whole...
we need the U.S.
That whole genocide thing that's kind of cringe.
Push this thing through.
That too.
We've got a great ally.
Yeah, notice how he's not mentioning that. No.
Of South Africa.
Dude, the guy's terrified. He did not expect to get put on the stage right now.
For a very long time. Even in the days of the war, you know, up in Angola, you know, you guys helped us. So very important for us to have your support and you know, get the change we need.
Where did you do that well? He might have done that even better than he plays golf, which is almost impossible. Johan, please.
Oh my God.
If you had to wind all of those tapes properly, you will see I'm the biggest target of that rabble-rouser. Number one for over 10 years, Mr. Malema. In fact, the first time I met him, he was in the youth league with that gentleman. And look how he's changed.
Right.
We have too many deaths, but it's across the board. It's not only white farmers, it's across the board. And we need technological help. We need Starlink at every little police station. We need drones. I actually got drones.
We need.
Donated for the peace parks to stop elephant and rhino poaching. And his predecessor stopped the importation because he said the United States would spy on us. I mean, US basics, the ridicule. So if you can help us. Remember, sir, you and I lived in New York in the 70s. We never thought New York could be what it became. 2 commissioners, a tough mayor. We need your help to stop this awful killing. but it's across the board. Ernie is right now building a house in George. I'm building 3 cottages for my grandchildren on a farm outside Grafrenet. I often go to bed without locking the door.
Bro's just yapping at this point.
We have a serious problem with illegal aliens.
Illegal aliens, huh?
And if you really look at our statistics, a lot of these murders, first it's unemployment and illegal aliens. And then I met Vice President Vance many years ago, the Charlie Rose show. My wife loved the book. And she reminded me this morning that you emphasized the devastation that occurs when big companies leave towns and cities, and there's a culture of dependency that develops. And I remember you discussing it. Now that's our problem. If we don't get our economy to grow, the culture of dependency and the lawlessness will increase. I've again been against apartheid all my life, and I'm their #1 target. Please just Google my name and Malema. You'll see it, sir. He marched on the farm.
But the crime is bad.
The crime is terrible, sir, but Mr. Steenhuisen won't admit to it, but he runs the Western Cape, where I live. And the biggest murder rate is in the Cape Flats. Gangs. We've got gang warfare.
True.
Like your...
I love how this dude is like, listen, there might be a really big problem that's going on, all right? There might be like this whole issue about the whole, you know, killing white farmers and stuff. But we have way more issues than that. There's also gangs killing people. There's drugs. There's illegal immigrants. There's lots of people that are killing people in South Africa. Nice. Good defense. Good defense. That'll work.
We've got equivalents there, but we need your help, sir. And we need Elon technology.
Yeah. So listen, I know that we're kind of not doing anything about all the white people that are getting murdered in South Africa, but we need the white people in America to give us money. That's what we're trying to say here. It's important.
One of the real areas of support is really in investments. We've got to grow our economy, because through growing the economy, we're then able to create more jobs. Because crime really thrives where there is inequality and unemployment. And that is one of the
crime flourishes with unemployment and inequality. Also, everyone is cheering to kill white farmers, which probably has something to do with this.
reasons that has brought us here to improve our investment relations, our trade relations, so that we can preserve the
Bro murdered him on the white genocide thing, and now he's asking for money. That's crazy.
number of jobs that your companies have created in South Africa. By virtue of what we export to you, we are able to create up to 500,000 jobs in the auto industry, in the agricultural industry, and a number of other industries, mining, where we export things to you. And we also
Look at his face. He's just like, Well, let him yap. Let him talk.
know that as South African companies invest here, you are also able to create jobs. So it's a mutually beneficial relationship.
Yes.
So our main real reason for being here is to foster
The main real reason
trade and investment,
is because they want money.
so that
Got
we're
it.
able to grow our economy.
Yeah, that's why he gave him a golf book as a present instead of a Qatari jet, I guess.
Your support, and so that we're also able to address all these societal problems, because criminality thrives
Societal
when people
problems.
are unemployed, when they have no other hope to eke out a living. So that is what we need to resolve, and we'll support.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Are we all on the same page? All right. Bro got absolutely cooked. He had nothing to say. He didn't know where the fucking street was with the 1,000 crosses. Yeah, my asshole. And he's like, guys, we need money. The problem is, we don't have your money. Please give us your money, Mr. President.
Your partnership with us
Did I mention orange is my favorite color?
is what is really going to give us a strong capability to move forward.
I even wore a red tie. Red like a Republican. I saw the map of the country. I saw it after the election. It was all red. All red like Republican. Am I right, Mr. President? Biden wouldn't have done this. Gluck, 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 gluck.
Retief, excuse me, do you have anything to say? I mean, I don't want to leave you out. You know, the guy won 3 or 4 majors. 3 or 4?
No, only 2.
2. That's a lot. By the way, 2's a lot. A lot of tournaments you won, too. Do you have anything to say?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. President Ramaphosa. I grew up in an area in South Africa that is a farmland area, Polokwane. Yeah. And there is some issues up there, obviously.
Yeah,
my
there are
dad
issues.
was a property developer as well as a part-time farmer.
There are issues, yeah.
And
issues,
yeah,
you
some
know.
of these buddy farmers got killed. The farm is still going. My brothers run it, but it's a constant battle with farms they're trying to burn the farms down to chase you away. So it is a concern to try and...
Yeah, there is a concern when they're murdering people and burning their farms down to chase them away. There's a concern there. There's a concern. And dude's like, I don't know.
Make a living as a farmer, and at the end they, without farmers, there's no food on the plate. So we need the farmers to produce the food.
Farming, right? He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't even want to do what you're doing, right? They love farming. They don't want to leave. But it's a struggle.
Yeah, and food and fresh water is the most important thing in life. Without those 2 things you can't survive.
How is the water there?
The water is great, obviously. All the water comes out of the borehole, out of ground for us down there. But yeah, it is a battle to get the water out sometimes when all the equipment gets stolen all the time that you're trying to get the water out.
So does your family and your brother, do they feel safe on the farm?
They live behind electric fences, try and be at night.
Yeah, they feel safe. They just have a fucking military operation protecting them. Electric fences, They have a turret, right? They feel kind of safe. They have a minefield in their backyard, whatever.
But it is constant whenever you leave that something could happen. And
there's nowhere to live.
That's crazy.
Attacked in their houses. My mom's been attacked in her house when she was...
How are you saying it so casually? How is he saying this so casually? Well, my mom was attacked in her house, whatever happens. I mean, she's white, so whatever.
So it is difficult, but the guys live a great life despite everything going on.
Something.
President Trump, I brought along the president of the largest trade union in our country, Ziggy Solosi.
Oh, that's nice.
Because she leads many, many workers.
Oh, wow.
More than 1 million, 2 million workers. And maybe we should give her a chance to say something because she's come all the way.
He's just trying so hard to stay on the topic of like his workers and shit.
To join us.
Thank you very much, Mr. President Trump, for having us and President for extending the invitation to us as organized labor. And I must say that we are here.
Yeah, the dude's like, yeah, my mom was attacked in her house, and he's like, Mr. President, we have to talk to this woman. She employs 1 million people.
To support
nice
the initiative that has been made by our government with business, of course, as organized labor. We've been coming to Washington on the AGOA. Trade relations in the previous regime. And I think at the center of it all, for me, it is exactly what Mr. Rupert has said, the importance of us growing the economy. We have always emphasized when we were here and kept on coming and negotiating on AGOA that the 600 US companies that are based in South Africa, as you said, President Ramaphosa, 500,000 jobs will be wiped out. We need more foreign direct investment in our country. We are not just talking about those that will lose employment, but we are talking about over 40% of people that are unemployed, that have no hope.
The unemployed, hopeless people.
Job. And we
Dude,
think that
it's crazy how this discussion has been going. He's like, here's evidence that you're killing white people in your country at record numbers. This is fucked up. And then he's like, think about how tragic unemployment is. Can we have money, sir, Mr. President, sir?
correctly, as they have said, that we need to deal with the issue of porous borders in our country so that everyone that comes in is documented. We also need to, and I would have thought that the minister would address the issue of land expropriation and how the policy works in South Africa. Recently, President, as you were preparing to come here on the news, in, I think it was in Natal, there was a handover of farms. And white farmers were saying, we are donating the land, but also there's a willing buyer, willing seller in South Africa. So there is no expropriation without compensation.
Bro, she's just lying, dog. She's just lying. What are we even talking about? That happens. We know this happens because we've read about it, because people say it happens. This is crazy. How can you just say that there is no kicking people out of the land? They donate the land. They all donate the land, bro. Sure, they compensate the dead people after they donate their land.
But it is a willing buyer, willing seller. And that white farmer was even saying, President, that the government is even paying more in buying the land.
Ah, the lucky white farmers. The lucky white farmers. They're getting great deals out of this. Hell yeah.
Than what the land is worth off. And I think those are the realities, President, that...
Mr. President, you don't understand the reality. When white farmers are getting murdered and their fields are being burnt, it's a great deal. It's a great deal.
We must say that we need to address, of course, but also the importance of agriculture linked to AGOA. People...
Do you realize we pay for their funerals? That's pretty nice of us, goddammit. That's pretty nice. Thanks for the sub, friend.
Rely on it, and I think, as Retief have said, for survival and living. But lastly, for me, President, is also the issue of the crime statistics.
Ah, the crime statistics. Are you aware that 13% of the ninjas commit 50% of the stabbings?
There is no doubt about it that we are a violent nation, you know.
All right, love that.
Number of reasons, and we're not condoning anything. But also, if you go into the rural areas where black majority are, you would see women, elderly, being raped, being killed, being murdered, and these are...
Wait. Her defense is black neighborhoods have more violence and rapes, so therefore, it's not anything against white people. Is that the argument that's really being made here right now? I feel like this argument can kind of be flipped on its head in a pretty wild way. What the fuck? That's the craziest defense I've ever heard.
Black elderly women that would be found throat slits, raped multiple times, and all of that.
Yeah, that's horrible.
The problem in South Africa, it is not necessarily about race, but it is about crime. And we think that we are here to say, how do we, both nations, work together to reset, to really talk about investment, but also help us in how we can have the technology and everything that is needed, President, to really address the levels of crime that we have in our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
President Trump,
he has nothing to respond to. Like, let them fucking talk. Operation Let Them Speak. Operation Let Them Speak is working.
Genocide is a very strong word. I'm wondering if you can make up your mind as to what...
Now genocide's a strong word. Yeah. Now it's a strong word. 10 minutes ago, you could every country's doing a genocide. There's a trans genocide and everything's a genocide, right? That's 10 minutes ago. Now it's a strong word, guys. That's the media. That's the media. A lot of people don't know what genocide actually means. All right. We'll pull up the definition. All right. I think it's important. A genocide is the deliberate killing of a large number of people from a particular nation or ethnic group with the aim of destroying that nation or group. They are burning farms and driving out farmers and threatening killing of white people. That sounds like a genocide. It does. Sounds like a genocide to me. Does to me. So yeah, it's definitely a strong word he's using. Now, it's crazy. Holy shit. I got Hassan people in my chat, by the way, freaking out, spasming that I should be talking about Israel and Gaza this entire time, but that's not the topic of today's video at all. And let me just remind you this for just a second. The white farmers in South Africa, did not start the war by murdering 1,200 civilian black people in South Africa, and there's retaliation to get rid of a terrorist group that is still holding hostages. So you cannot compare these fucking situations at all. But again, that is not a topic for today.
Genocide is occurring in South Africa, are you still doubts? And if you have made up your mind, why invite President Ramaphosa here today?
Well, I haven't made up my mind. I hate to see it from the standpoint of South Africa, but also, I'm trying to save lives. I'm working with Russia and Ukraine. I don't have to do that. It's not our war. It was started by other people. It was helped along by our past administration. It would have never happened if I were president, but I'm trying to save lives, no matter where. Rwanda, I have nothing to do with Rwanda and the Congo, but I felt I had a very talented person in this administration, and I sent him there, and he did an unbelievable job, I think. I mean, we're going to find out, but he's done the hardest part of the job. It should happen. If I can save lives, I want to save the lives. If it's in Africa, that's great. If it's in Europe, if it's
that's a good
wherever
guy.
It may be.
Look at that guy.
And
what a peacemaker.
It's a very small investment.
Unlike Biden, that guy was shit. Biden, small penis, kind of a loser.
Believe me, compared to what the consequences are. So I hope we can do something. Look, I have so many friends. These two men, I have great admiration for them because I know what they do for a living. Yeah. And that's a very hard living. Going from city to city, from country to country, and hitting a ball 350 yards like they do,
better than you and I.
Getting the ball in the hole. It's a very tough with lots of people watching. Right?
I am very good at getting balls in holes. I put all sorts of balls in all sorts of holes. That's why I have so many grandchildren.
That's a very tough living. They're champions. I respect champions. And I respect very much, and I think the country is very lucky. They really wanted to be here.
That's true.
They could be elsewhere. They could be on a beautiful fairway someplace, and they wanted to be here. So.
My name is Yanda Mlobo from Newsroom Africa in South Africa.
Good.
How important is it for the United States to be at our G20 summit in November, given the relationship between our two countries? You've just heard what has been said to you just now. Are you coming? And are you preparing to come?
So without...
I don't think, no way he's going to answer the question. Right?
The United States, the G20, just like the G7, used to be the G8, but brilliantly they threw Russia out. It would have been a lot better if Russia was in. A lot of people would say, oh, that's not... Because if Russia was in, you probably wouldn't have this war. And if you had a different...
Holy fuck, he's cooking. He's cooking them every time.
For president, you wouldn't have the war either. Yeah. But we have a G7. It's important that the United States is in both of them. I think without the United States, it's I really believe it's not very important. It's not the same meaning.
As I said to President Trump, the U.S. really originated the G20. And it's important that the United States continues to play a key role in the G20.
Yeah.
And
have you considered asking them
to be the president of the G20? But we are even overjoyed that we are going to hand over to the United States, who are the originators. And for that reason, I expect the United States to continue playing the leadership role in the G20 together with other countries.
Obviously.
And I've said when I initially spoke to President Trump on the phone, I want him to come to South Africa for a state visit, and I also want him to come and participate in the G20. And I want to gladly hand over to President Trump to take the leadership of the G20 forward in November.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
What is it going to take to convince you?
They don't want to leave.
Oh God, born to be a comedian, forced to rule the world. Damn, Donald J. Trump. Thanks so much for joining. That was a crazy meeting. That was crazy. I feel like he hit an absolute zenith in the center, and he just kind of spent the rest of the time letting them talk. He barely spoke at the end. He just let them sit and stew in their own shit and vomit. I'll be real here. He cooked. I'm really happy that there's a president of the United States that's actually willing to fucking get dirty with people that he wants to, and I think that's fucking incredible. So Someone in my chat just told me that Hassan is saying that the farmers are offered market rates after their land gets stolen. So, content machine never ends. You will never be as retarded as the largest leftist political streamer on the planet. Thanks so much for being here. Appreciate you guys. Lock in future stuff. Definitely subscribe, because when you subscribe, you get to see future shit. And we are going to be covering lots of cool stuff. Hell yeah, baby. See you in the next one. Bye. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.